pitching is that much better. And they're that much locked in on guys like Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, and it becomes that much more difficult to hit.
Baseball's insider from The Athletic, Ken Rosenthal. Thanks for joining us, Ken, in your super, super busy schedule. AJ's not here, so there will be no, one extra questions today. It'll be all just super specific baseball questions.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, he's ready. Go ahead, show him biz.
Straight to the point. Who are we more concerned about? Walker Buehler pitching in this game, or Doc Roberts, Dave Roberts, the manager for the Dodgers, knowing when to take him out?
I would think Buehler. He's the one performing. And I heard what Max Muncy said earlier, and actually I was kind of intrigued by it. The fact that he said he'd rather not have anybody on the mound but Walker Buehler. He's the guy that he would want. If you look at performance this year, you would not necessarily think that's the case. But Buehler is a big game guy. If you go back to 2020, he pitched Game 1 in the Wild Card round, the Division Series, and the LCS. Pitched really well in Game 3 of the World Series as well. So he is in a different spot now. He's coming off his second Tommy John. He had 2 months missed with the right hip injury. He hasn't been consistent, but as Max said, in Game 3 of the DS, he actually was pretty good. He had that crazy 6-run second inning where some bad things happened, some unlucky things happened to him, and then came back, pitched 3 scoreless, and that kind of set up the Dodgers well for the next day, which was the bullpen game and the great 9-0 win or 8-0 win over the Padres. So I'm confident, relatively confident in Buehler tonight. As for Dave Roberts, listen, he's always under scrutiny, as always every manager is in the postseason, because every move is under scrutiny, and the question always is, when do you take a guy out? Generally speaking, it's before the third time through the order, right? And I would expect that's what's going to be the case if Buehler pitches well tonight.
Yeah, and he's got the high leverage arms well rested for this one. I know they got to go 3 days in a row coming up here. So my follow-up for you about Buehler is, I'm sure you've heard this all the time from managers, guys who have gutsy performances and guys who are pitching without their best stuff but still put it all together. And that certainly can be the case. What I'm curious about is if the Dodgers have said anything on, Buehler not getting swing and miss, right? Like the fastball's not playing the same this year. So you can be gutsy as hell, but you still got to throw strikes. And if you're not getting whiffs, these are playoff teams. The Mets are a playoff offense, one of the better offenses in baseball. Can he overcome the lack of stuff compared to the past to put together a gutsy performance like that? I'm curious, what the thought process is.
Scott, that's a great observation. And actually, I asked the Dodgers pitching coach, Mark Pryor, about this yesterday. And I said, okay, what is he now? And what Pryor said is just what you just said, Scott. He doesn't have the swing and miss stuff that he did in the past. He doesn't have the elite command that he did in the past. The ability to change speeds is not the same. What Buehler needs to do now, at this stage of his career, is be more creative, more imaginative on the mound. And that is how he has to get through lineups. It's a different way of pitching. And Pryor said, listen, I don't rule out him becoming that pass guy again, but right now he's not that guy. And it took him a while to realize this, which is understandable, right? A guy comes back from a second Tommy John. He's hopeful of being what he was. Then when he finds out he's not what he was, it's an adjustment period getting to a point where he can be successful again. And that is what Buehler has experienced.
Do you have any injury updates? You're at the field every day, off day workouts from Freddie Freeman, but also people forget the fact that Francisco Lindor missed some super huge games down the stretch, and we really don't talk much about his back. Is there any new updates from the workout day, the off day yesterday?
Well, Lindor seems fine, first of all. He's playing really well, and I don't see any issue there. Gavin Lux expected to be back in the lineup tonight. He is a guy that had that hip flexor thing in Game 1, left the game, didn't play in Game 2, but while he is still dealing with this, he's expected to be in there. And the same goes for Freddie Freeman. Now, I'm interested to see how Freddie Freeman handles the cold and how he handles back-to-back-to-back games, if he is able to handle that. But what we've seen, guys, is a level of toughness from him that I don't know that we've seen in many players. And I want to ask you guys this as well, Todd and Eric. To me, it seems like the one stat we don't know is how many injections each team is giving out to its players each game. And I would love to know that because you know what, guys? There are guys playing with some things now. And we don't talk about that, all the stats that we keep. No one knows who's going through what exactly. And really, it's so critical to what these guys are at this time of year. If you're not as healthy as you were, you can't be the same guy that you want to be.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't say injection, but I feel like nobody's 100% right now at the end of the day. And for a guy like a Freddie Freeman with the ankle, guys that are going through stuff that we don't even know of, that might need, an extra boost, I guess you could say, but here and there. They're going to need it.
Oh, they're getting the boost. There's no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead, Eric.
No, I was just going to say, I saw an in-game injection to take care of something in the playoffs. I won't say what game it was, what series it was, because it would implicate the person. Everyone would know who it was, but it happens. It definitely happens.
Yeah.
It's not football. People aren't getting injections pregame, but I know the pills that you take in the playoffs are stronger than the ones that you can take during the regular season because it's a shorter amount of time that you put in your body through that.
Whatever happened to that spray they used to use? You know, when you got hit by a pitch?
Cold spray?
That cold spray, man. That's what I would have loved to have.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Aaron Judge a little bit. We know he hit the home run yesterday. Kind of got off the schneid there a little bit. Playoffs have been just a totally different story for him. He's had some good at-bats, but he's been missing some pitches as well, man. Do you see, him starting to step up here as we move forward? Because, they're walking Soto to get to him now, so it's kind of a different ball game for him.
I do see him performing better, and the reason for that, Todd, is he's just too good. And it's the same with Ohtani. I know Ohtani's 0 for 19 with men on base, or with none on, and then 6 for 8 with men on. That's some kind of weird stat, right? But Ohtani's good, and the difference now, and you guys know this, the pitching is that much better. And they're that much locked in on guys like Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani, and it becomes that much more difficult to hit. Now, you're going to see, at times, players struggle. You see that during the season, and it becomes magnified this time of year, of course. That's when you want these superstars performing at their best. It just doesn't always happen that way. And I expect Judge to be fine the rest of the way, and I expect Ohtani to be the same. These guys, like I said, they're too good. They're not going to just simply disappear in the postseason. I don't see that happen.
Ken, you know what I was thinking about? Because obviously we're on all offseason with you, and we talk so much about signings and trades and payroll. And the one thing that really stood out with Cleveland is not just their identity compared to the other teams, but they spend significantly less than the other three teams that are in the Final Four here. How much do you see that playing out right now with their style of play, with their lack of a rotation, right? And you look at what the Yankees are bringing to the table. I mean, it truly looks to me like David versus Goliath in that series.
I agree, and it is playing out that way. It almost looks like they don't belong on the same field together, and that's not respectful enough of Cleveland. Of course, Cleveland has had a great year. Payroll is part of it, but look at the Dodgers. They've got one of the highest payrolls, and their pitchers are all hurt too. They're kind of in the same situation, honestly, that Cleveland is in with their rotation. The Yankees are in a good position with their rotation. Their starters are healthy, and I know if we get to a World Series where it's Yankees-Dodgers or Yankees-Mets, there's going to be a lot of screaming about payroll and about, you got to spend to win. It's the only way. I would suggest recent history doesn't always indicate that. That if you go back to last year, they weren't the highest payroll teams, and really for the last several years. So spending helps. It helps insulate teams from injury a little bit, but it doesn't completely do that. So in Cleveland's case, yes, they're compromised right now. They've been compromised all season with their rotation. All season long. It started with the Bieber injury, and it's really showing up now. They also have not played all that well in these two games, not the way they normally do. So I know payroll is the easy thing to look at, and certainly there is a disparity between them and the Yankees. No one would deny that. But I don't know that that's the whole story here. Certainly you've seen teams rise up with lower payrolls in the recent past and beaten teams like the Yankees even. So I don't know that I put that much into it, but certainly you cannot dismiss it as a factor. It's there. And yes, the Yankees have a huge advantage because they are able to spend more on players.
Last one here for me. This is a Ken question, not necessarily a baseball question. Do you, now that you guys are in New York and it's going to be 50 degrees tonight, do you want to be at World Series and playoff games when it's cold, or would you rather have 72 and sunny?
All right, I'll be honest here, Eric. 72 and sunny.
Oh,
And
come on.
I will be honest in this regard too. When it comes to the cold, I am not the toughest guy in the world. In fact, I would go the other end. I would say I'm one of the wimpier guys in the world. And people ask all the time, well, who do you root for? And what do you root for? I kind of root for warm weather a lot of times. And the reason is I'll be out there tonight, and it's going to be cold. There's no question about it. I'm layered up, and it's a different kind of experience. That said, I wouldn't trade it for anything. But, yeah, I'm not the toughest guy when it comes to the cold. There's no denying that.
Listen, I'm going to bring you some long johns because I'm going to the game. I'll be above the dugout, the Mets dugout. So if something gets hit in your face, just know it's long leggings and long sleeves, all right? You'll see me with a big bubble jacket on, all right?
All right. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it, man.
You got it.
And thank you, Ken. Yeah, stay warm. I'm with you too. I'm totally soft on weather. These guys know. I will immediately escape to Florida at the first chance I get when I start to feel a little chilly. So, sorry about it,
But
but
there's something
enjoy
about
it.
cold.
What?
There's something about cold and seeing your breath the morning of a game, not during the game, but like just
Yeah, here's
watching
the
it and
difference.
everybody's. I don't know.
Here's the difference. I'm not moving around and playing. I'm standing there. And it's just not the same kind of thing.
Do some
if I was
jumping
playing,
jacks.
If I was playing, different story maybe. Could stay warm and do some things. But yeah, jumping jacks ain't.
Just go down in the tunnel and use the bathroom like every 20 seconds so you
But
can
then
get
you're
warm.
missing stuff. So Ken's looking
Yeah.
out. I get it. My old job, when I would be at the park at the morning, do every freaking show, and you're outside and it's 20 degrees all day, like, yeah, I'm not running around. So it's just not the same. So anyway, yeah, everyone's going to feel really bad for us. But Ken's got the best seat in the house. So enjoy it, Ken.
No one
We'll
should
talk
feel
to
bad
you,
for me. No.
exactly.
No one should ever feel bad for me. I've got a great job, the best job. It's just that I'm a wimp. It's simple.
Yeah, I'm with you. I admit it, right? I admit it on that one. So, yeah, sarcasm. You're going to enjoy it. Ken, thank you very much. We'll see you on Fair Territory.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate you. Ken Rosenthal on Fox, of course, tonight for Game 3. It's the Mets and the Dodgers all to themselves. And then you'll hear Ken on Fair Territory with Alana Rizzo. It's every Thursday, 12:30 Eastern Time.
Hey everybody, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
We're back here every weekday, all year long, so do not miss an episode.
The videos are coming in all day. Here's another video you might enjoy.
Baseball the way it should be covered.